Hi, it's Jordantine1, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really sweet little pumpkin charm. So it's really pretty quick and easy to do, and I think it makes a great little Halloween or fall decoration that you can either put on a purse or a backpack, or you can make them to give to your friends. To make your charm, you can use either the Alpha Loom or the full-size Rainbow Loom. And I do prefer to make mine on the Alpha Loom for a few reasons. I like the fact that the pins are spaced a little bit farther apart width-wise, so that way your charm has a little bit more room to grow down in between the pins. And I like the fact that they're spaced closer together lengthwise, because that way those clear bands that tie the rows together don't have to stretch as far. And then another really important reason is because it has this alpha comb that has the 7 hooks, which obviously will help you loom a lot faster. But I know that not everybody has access to the Alpha Loom, so you can definitely make this on your Rainbow Loom. You just need to have your pins set in line with one another, and you'll only need to use 2 rows of pins, so you can remove the 3rd row or leave it on, it's up to you. And then you would just use 7 sets of pins that are straight across from one another. And you would want to remove those blue base plates from those 7 rows so your bracelet can grow down. And if you do need any extra help with how to do this on the Rainbow Loom or how to follow a grid pattern, you can check out my video that I did making an American flag using the Rainbow Loom. To make your little pumpkin charms, you're going to need 49 orange bands, 3 green bands for the stem, you'll need 8 black bands for the eyes and the mouth, and then you're going to need 4 clear bands for the tie bands, and then I used 1 extra clear band to tie it off at the top, so you can really use any color you'd like for that. I'm going to add a grid pattern in the upper left-hand corner, and then I'll highlight each row that we're working on. And we're starting at the bottom of the pumpkin and we're going to work our way up to the top. So the first row is going to begin with 3 orange bands, and since this is the start, you do want to twist them. So they're going in these 3 center pins. So I'm just stretching it across and making a figure 8. And if you want to, you can do 2 twists on these, and I think I will show that, but I like to begin with just the regular figure 8. And then if you want to twist them around again, I would suggest using your regular hook here and then just flipping them one more time. So it just makes it look a little bit tighter there at the bottom so there's no loose loops sticking out. So all I'm doing is just twisting that around one more time. And then after every row, you're going to use your alpha comb, or if you don't have an alpha comb or you're using the Rainbow Loom, you can use like a credit card or a store card, or you can even just use your hook, although you can see it's not going to fit, at least with the Alpha Loom, it's not going to fit all the way through, just the tip will. Then you're going to take another orange band and you're going to stretch it across all 3. So this is going to be the cross band, and you could use clear if you wanted to, but I'm just going to use orange for my cross bands, and these are the little Alpha Loom bands, and they're just going to go on one side and stretch across all 3 pins. So it doesn't really matter which side you do. I like to stay consistent, so I'm always going to be doing mine across the bottom. In the second row, you're going to need 5 bands, and we're going to be doing 2, 1, and 2. And the reason that I have 2 on these is because we're going to be expanding this next row out to 5 pins. So on this left-hand side here, let me just push this down, I'm going to place 2 bands, just one right on top of the other. And as you're putting these bands on and looping them, you do want to try and keep them as straight as possible. And then 1 for the middle, and then 2 for the end. And then you're going to take your cross band and you're going to pull this up and over so it's just sitting in the middle. And then you want to take your Alpha comb and you just want to remove that bottom band from each of the pins. And then you're going to push this down. And I want the ones that have the 2 bands on, these are going to go outward. So I'll start here on the right. This top band is going to come up and move over to the right. The one on the left is going to come up and move over to the left. So now you can see we've expanded out to that 5 pins. And then we're just going to do the same thing over here. So just make sure you're just grabbing that upper band and sliding it outward. And then we need our cross bands again. So this time I'm going to be using 2 orange because 1 is just too small to stretch across all 5. So from this middle pin, I'm going to stretch this one over to the left, across those 3 pins. And then this one, I'm going to go from the center and go over to the right, across those 3 pins. And then you're just going to push that down. In the third row, you're going to need 4 orange and 3 black, and you can see we're doing the 2 orange on the same pin, and then again they're going to stretch out to that full length of 7. So I have 2 orange over here on the left, and then the 3 black in the middle for the mouth, and then the 2 orange on the right. So now the cross bands have to come off. Just make sure that you're removing the one that's on the top first. So I have the one on the right here, and then the one on the left. And then I'm taking my Alpha comb, and again it's just those bottom bands that need to come over the top. Just make sure those upper ones are staying on. Push this down. And now we have to do the cross band. And I am going to switch to clear when I have to go across all 7 rows. Just because the Alpha Loom bands are so small, you would have to do 3 to get across, which you can still do. But I'm just going to switch to my clear whenever I have to go across all 7. In row 4, we're doing in every other pattern with the orange and the black. So we have it as wide as it's going to get, since we only have 7 pins to work with. And then the clear band comes off first. And now the Alpha comb. Push down. And then again, you have another clear band to go across all 7 here. In row 5, they're going to be all orange here. And then I'm going to get the clear band, and then all of the bottom bands. And again, we have to push down, and then add the next clear. Row 6 is, again, all orange. Didn't quite make it on there. sew that clear. And then the rest. And then my crossband. Row 7 has the eyes, so you're going to have 2 black here. So this is going to be our last full row of 7, and then we're going to start to narrow this. Now before I put the next row on or even do any crossbands, I want to narrow this back down to 5 rows. So to do that, I'm just going to take the bands on the end, so I'll start here on the right and move that over 1, and I'll do the same for the other side here. And then I'm taking that bottom band and just looping that over. And then I'm going to move in the left side here. So again, they're just moving over 1 spot, and then that bottom band comes over the top. And then I'm going to switch back to my orange for the tie bands in the middle. So it's just going across 3. I have 5 orange bands for this next row. So we're really getting down here towards the end. So I have a couple more rows of the pumpkin left. Now I have just 1 orange band, that's going to be my tie band here. And now for row 9, I have 3 orange. So these are going to be my last orange bands. And then one last time we're going to have to move this down to 1 row so the edges come in. And I think I'm going to wait actually to move this over the top until I get both edges in. So let me just move this other edge in. So I'm actually going to wind up with 3 bands on each of the pins. And then the bottom one's going to come over. So I'm going to leave 2 bands here in the middle. And now I have my 3 stem bands. So one at a time, I'm just going to put them on. So I'm going to actually take the 2 orange over the top here. And then I'll do another green. And then 1 more. Of course you can make it longer if you'd like. Then I'm going to take my hook, I'm going to pick up the one side, leave it on there, pick up the other side. Now I can pull this out. I'm going to take a clear band. You can take whatever you want, and I'm going to just pull it through, back on. and then one through the other to make a slip knot. Pull that nice and tight, and then your little pumpkin charm is complete. So you might have to do a little bit of adjusting, but then he is ready for Halloween. I hope that everyone loves their new little pumpkin charms. You can always leave me comments on YouTube and Facebook, post pictures of your creations to my Facebook page, and please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, so that way you'll be notified when I have new tutorials available. You can also find me on Pinterest and Instagram, so please feel free to subscribe to those as well. Thanks for watching!